kerosene. So as a solution to that, we came to invent the Soma bag. People really liked it. We use the recycled materials. These are materials that are available here in Tanzania. On one hand, it creates jobs. On the other hand, it benefits us, the environment. So other than these plastic things to end up in the street, to destroy the soil and other things, get them through our system and we manufacture, and amazing stuff happened from that. Demand was getting higher and higher every day, and when demand comes, they just don't want the same kind of bags. We are very young people and we just started our business and everything was challenging. In the midst of these really stiff challenges that we were facing, we came up with a UNDP program called FUNGUO, and this program is funded by EU and UK aid. It was accidental really. People you can apply, you can get the funding, and actually we got this funding, and it was a very important stage of our growth, because as you know, we couldn't afford some specific machinery that could really help to create some specific designs. Like for example, we need to make a special bag for a person with disability, for example. It needs some very special combinations, and we couldn't really afford. Another thing is, like, normally we just go in the street and buy solar panels, which was made for other purposes, and now we could afford, ordering panels that are specifically made for our own production. And we didn't have special machines with special functionalities like this one. And these have now opened our way to create more designs, to maximize the choices we can have in our designing. And we had a team of 36 people, where 26 were women. And at the moment now, with this new machinery and then the pump of this brand from FUNGUO, we are already looking into hiring 50 people and now undergoing training. The doors have opened for us because our production shifts from making 3,000 bags a month to now, at our full capacity, we could make up to 12,000 bags a month. Very ordinary people are working here, people that are surrounding this community, and they didn't go to university. We want the people that actually live in this place could get the chance, to be creative, to earn a living, and also to contribute positively in their community. And there are many general benefits. For example, for the presence of a factory here, this entire village didn't have electricity. So, the fact that we had a factory here and we had to get the electricity from a far distance to this point have benefited many people on the way. They are also now be able to get electricity at the cheaper rate, So FUNGUO has opened a very important door for us. There are some of our products now are even reaching in Europe. We've sold some products in Poland already, and people really appreciate them, and we see that they are willing to work again with us, and this is something that is really crucial for us. One of the biggest change that I would really say is the fact that people are becoming more and more aware that, trash, something as unuseful as trash, could create jobs, could create a very useful tool that every parent will be, longing for to own one day. So I'll really highly recommend this program, and the attention that they've put into us and our projects and the guidance. They always pick up the phone when we need some help in ideas, or if you are facing a challenge or somewhere. So this is really important part, more than even just the funding. So the support bond that we have behind us is really intriguing for us.
Good morning. Habari za asubuhi. Yes, I would like to recognize Our partners, Mr. Cedric Merel, Head of Cooperation, European Union, Mr. Rick Shen, Deputy High Commissioner, British High Commission, Madame Ivana Damjanov, Country Lead, Inclusive Digital Economies at our sister agency, UNCDF, and Dr. Erasto Mliuka, Acting Director for the Technohama Business Incubator, and also representing the Director General for COSTECH. And I would like to recognize all the partners who are here today, all the friends, the innovators. Nawasalimu kwa jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Yes, kazi endelee indeed. So I'm really excited and delighted that we are officially launching the second call for funding applications for our FUNGUO innovation program. This momentous occasion would not have been possible without the generous support of our funding partners, the European Union, the British High Commission. And I would also like to express our gratitude to the government of Tanzania for the strong partnership that we have with them, and also our esteemed partner, UNCDF, for joining us on this journey to foster the growth of impact-driven startups. We all know that Tanzania is blessed with a young and dynamic population. How many of you consider yourselves to be young? How many of us in this room? Maybe I'll say, how many are below the age of 35? Okay. Yeah, but I think it's good. Age is just a number, right? But according to the recent census, I think we have 77% of people in Tanzania at the age of 35 and below. And this really presents a tremendous opportunity for Tanzania and for us to invest in these young men and women and empower them to shape their own destiny. And by harnessing their energy, ingenuity, and innovativeness, we can actually unlock their full potential, not just for themselves, but for the community at large. So the FUNGUO Innovation Program is one such initiative that aims to accomplish this goal. So the launch of the second call for funding applications signifies yet another milestone in UNDP's commitment to fostering innovation and driving national development goals. We firmly believe in the power of the many innovative young people who dedicate themselves to bringing about positive change through entrepreneurship. Their endeavors, as we have seen already, not only create job opportunities for themselves and fellow young people, and hopefully also older people, but also contribute to the sustainable development of this nation. We take great pride in hearing success stories from the startups that received support during the first round, and I hope that we will hear from them today. We have witnessed some of these entrepreneurs being entrusted by the government with tenders to contribute to the development of the fishing industry. Others have successfully secured additional financing from external partners, and we will continue to provide these investees with additional technical support to ensure that they sustain and expand their enterprises. I'm still rooting for them to eventually register on the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. You know, it's good that we accompany them from startups right up to the top so that then they can come back down and pick others up to accompany them too. We are very much committed to collaborating with other partners to cultivate a robust pipeline of early-stage businesses. By doing so, we believe that Tanzania can attract more investors and further bolster its thriving startup economy. We have recently started a partnership, for example, with Stanbic Bank. This partnership is very much, revered, and we are currently engaging discussions with other potential collaborators. In conclusion, I humbly implore all stakeholders from the public and private sectors, as well as fellow development partners, to align our efforts towards unlocking the potential of young people. The opportunities that lie ahead of them are vast, but they require investment to be fully capitalized upon. I must say also that the sustainability of our efforts is going to stand on our ability to go beyond skills development and financing, to include mentorship that transforms mindsets of the majority of our young men and women beyond their personal needs and interests towards being influencers for accelerated, inclusive, climate smart, and digital leveraged development of their communities, of their nation. This we can do through empowering their voice, their action, outreach, and role modeling. For this reason, UNDP is actually developing a youth portfolio aimed at addressing the multidimensional poverty of young men and women, and hopefully through that, it can also feed the pipelines for FUNGUO, but it can also feed pipelines for other social, political, and national endeavors. Once again, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for gracing us with your presence today. I would also like to express my deepest appreciation to our partners, the EU, the British government, for their invaluable collaboration in making the FUNGUO program a reality. Many thanks to our sister agency UNCDF for running with us in the challenge. And I extend my greatest thanks to the government of Tanzania and all its agencies for your unwavering support in partnering with development organizations like UNDP to advance the initiatives like FUNGUO. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza, and I wish us a really amazing time together this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. We're now welcoming to the stage Ms. Ivania Damyanov, who is the country lead for inclusive digital economies at UNCDF. And we're just going to try to switch this mic. Sorry. This mic. They say they can't hear.
Okay, great. I think this is good now. Welcome to the launch of the second FUNGUO funding call. We are thrilled to be continuing our partnership with UNDP on the grant component of FUNGUO. A partnership such as one between UNDP and UNCDF highlights the benefits that can be reaped when UN sister agencies come together and combine their specialized expertise for a common objective. With UNCDF's inclusive digital economies, we look at catalyzing participation in and growth of digital economies through the financial ecosystem. Many of you may know of us through our support to fintechs and our establishment of the PESA Tech Accelerator, also funded by the EU through their D4T program. A project like FUNGUO emphasizes the importance of partnerships, but also underlines the importance of inclusive innovation for driving economic growth and development in Tanzania. Innovation, whether in digital technology or through new business models, has already shown its power to drive positive change. It is the process of creating and implementing new ideas, products, services, approaches, or business models. All of these that bring improvements or advances. A new way of thinking. We see this innovation in a range of new digital financial services that are available through mobile phones, a new way of planning travel, a novel way of using recycled materials, unique combinations of flavors for cashew spreads, and new approaches to addressing challenges in sectors like fisheries and beekeeping. Innovation is not just a goal, but a new way of tackling problems, driving productivity, growth, and accelerating progress towards our common objective of achieving the SDGs. At UNCDF, our innovation workstream is dedicated to improving support offered to startups and growing innovation ecosystem, with a focus on fintechs. We aim to build a pipeline of investment-ready firms and mobilize catalytic funding through grants. Oh, this is not working.
Hello, hello.
I'm not too close to it, maybe. Okay. Oh, that's good. Catalytic financing through grants, technical assistance, and concessional impact funding. Our capital mandate and our technical expertise allow us to engage with both private and public sector, a key factor when it comes to identifying and implementing sustainable solutions. Our policy-related work contributes for digital transformation, which empowers innovators, entrepreneurs, and investors. The FUNGUO program aligns with UNDP and UNCDF's shared mission of fostering inclusive economic development and unlocking innovation in Tanzania. FUNGUO is committed to supporting innovation ecosystem and nurturing investment-ready, inclusive, and innovative businesses. Together, we aim to mobilize capital, generate valuable insights, accelerate digital transformation by leveraging our comparative advantage, technical expertise, and networks. Through FUNGUO, we can achieve greater impact and reach a wider and more diverse audience. Through today's launch of the second FUNGUO call for funding, we look forward to continued collaboration and partnership as we work towards building a vibrant and inclusive ecosystem for startups. Thank you all for joining us today, and let us unlock the power of innovation to create a better future for Tanzania.
Thank you so much, Ivana. That was excellent. We are now moving on to Joseph Manirakiza. He's the program manager for the FUNGUO Innovation Program, and he's going to provide us a short presentation on the FUNGUO program, give us a little bit of background, just tell us about where we are, and set up the stage for where we're going. Karibu, Joseph.
Right, good morning, everyone. I don't think I deserve a stage. This is for big people. Can you hear me, though, in the back? Great. Luckily, I think both Christine and Ivana have done my job, so introducing the program, I'm going to just go through it quickly. But Christine emphasized the importance of investing in young people, so I'm going to put numbers behind those kind of statements. Number one, we are already being told that Tanzania is a young country. The technical people, if you can help me move please. But the question is, how young is it? We are told that over 77% of Tanzania population is below 35, right? According to the census, we are 62 million right now. So if you're talking about over 77%, that's almost, if my math helps me well, that's about 50 million. What that means, it means whatever we are doing, if we do not invest in young people, then we are definitely not doing anything, right? Out of those 77%, we are told that close to 50% is actually below 18. So which means we have very small kind of number of productive people. And to make it even more interesting, over 1 million young men and women join the labor market every year, which is great, right? But I'm not sure how great it is because apparently there are no jobs waiting for them. I mean, that's according to the statistics. I'm not making anything up. And we are told only up to 200,000 people happen to secure employment immediately out of the 1 million, over 1 million, because that number was, I think, back in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Right? And to add salt to injury, out of those young people, about 60,000 are joining the queue from the higher learning institution. They are graduating. And there are no jobs waiting for them. So the thing is, that's fine. You have a young population. We have the opportunity to capitalize on them. They are very productive, innovative, and everything. But we are not doing a lot to be able to invest in them. So what should be done? I think it's just one thing. We just to enable them, incentivize them to create their own jobs, because the economy cannot create their jobs. That's for sure. And it doesn't matter how much we try. The government is doing all they can. But if the formal economy cannot create jobs for these young people. So that's the bottom line. So we have to help them. We have to incentivize them to create their own jobs. So how do we do that? There are so many ways, but this is why we are actually making case for FUNGUO. It's one of those initiatives which is trying to create opportunities and incentivize young people to be able to grow and scale their businesses. So it's basically starting for those who have already shown that there is something they are doing about the situation. So we can be able to help them by supporting initiatives like FUNGUO. So this is a UNDP initiative which is funded by European Union. We have already said that already by other people. And what it's trying to do is to contribute towards increasing the number of successfully scaled impact-driven startups. So because we believe that if we can grow a critical mass of startups, then they can go ahead and create jobs for those who have founded them, but also for their fellow young people. In that way, at least we are contributing to elevating the issue of the young men who are energetic but have nothing to direct their energy towards because if we don't do that, then they might be directing their energy towards something that we don't want them to go to. We are basically doing following integrated approach because we believe that money alone is not enough. We need the support system. That's why we are talking about innovation service delivery. We also need enabling environment because we believe even if you have money, even if you have built their skills, if the policies, regulations, everything are not helping, then nothing is going to move. Although today we are basically focusing on innovation financing part of it because we are making case for catalytic funding, which is actually what FUNGUO is providing. Yeah. So why is there need for catalytic funding for these startups? Number one, it's actually what it is. It's a catalytic. It's supposed to help them move from one stage to the other before they become attractive to other funders, right? So typically, it's a small amount of funding, often in terms of grant in the early stage of business, and it's strategically deployed to unlock the potential. That's how we talk about unlocking the potential of the startups. Why is it important? For those reasons. The funding gap which exists because so many startups have got the potential, but they are not yet ready for the banking. Banks don't have proper products for the startups. They are not ready for the venture capitalists. They are still too small, so they cannot attract that kind of funding. And they cannot go to microfinance. They are not friendly to startups. So where else do they go? If we had a developed angel investing kind of ecosystem, that would be the way to go. But we have to help bridge that kind of gap. That's why we provide this kind of funding. But it's also serves for validation because some people might not want to work with some startup because like, oh, who actually have believed in them? So the moment they get some kind of catalytic funding, at least people say, oh, so UNDP or EU has believed in this, so there must be something in there. So we are helping them validate their products and services. But also facilitating the experimentation iteration, because investment funding is, innovation funding is actually risky. So there is no bank which is going to give you money when you are not very sure whether it's going to be scalable. So the catalytic funding, which is kind of patient capital, allows the startups to be able to experiment further, to de-risk some of the market, and then continue growing if they're successful. But also attracting additional investment. I think Krista has given an example. We're going to hear from some of them already that have also been able to attract some funding because somebody gave them some push, because now they become attractive. I understand that some of them have been called by banks who were not talking to them before, which is a good thing, right? Yeah. But there's also access to networks. So if you look at the ecosystem, of course, some people who are already working in the space, I have seen some, the MD of CIF is here. They can tell you the kind of appetite is out there for catalytic funding. And we take from the first round to actually attest to that. When we opened the first round, we received 900 people who were interested. Of course, not of them completed the applications, but this tells us that there are actually a number of SMEs and innovative startups out there that would make use of some of the push that can push them to the next level. So this is actually what the process we went through, that we got interest from over 900, but at the end of the day, we could only fund 26 startups. Of course, because it's a competitive, they had to meet some of the criteria, but this tells you what is out there, right? And what have you achieved so far out of this? One, we funded 26 impact-driven startups, that some of them you are going to be able to see them, and they are started across the several industries. And that was our commitment of 2.6 billion. We have already disbursed over 1.7 billion to them, so we are still disbursing. And looking at their current numbers in terms of jobs and their projections, by 2024, they will have been able to sustain and create up to 2,300 jobs, both direct and indirect, which is a good contribution to this. But we are also working on the enabling environment front, working with partners with government, COSTECH, CMSA. And one of the important kind of milestone in the space, Capital Market Security Authority right now, they are finalizing the first crowdfunding guidelines. What this does, it helps startups and early-stage business to be able to fundraise or to raise capital from the public, which was not the case in the past. So as soon as these guidelines come into practice, I think that's going to be a game changer for the startup landscape. So we supported the initial phases of developing this, and also being capacity of the CMSA technical people to be able to come up with this. So we are still going to work with them to be able to promote those guidelines, but also help them refine it as they continue learning. But we have also been supporting a number of strategic platforms to help startup engage with the policymakers, but also be seen. Last time we had 8 startups that we have funded to go exhibit in Dodoma Innovation Week. Most of them actually got a number of businesses. I think I'm going to tell you about them when we have them at the panel. So those are some of the things that we are actually seeing that innovation, initiative like they're actually supporting push. And sorry. Yeah, so on the innovation financing bit, that's exactly what I'm talking about the amount that we have supported. But we're also going to hear from the likes of Aquacom that have been trusted by the government to get engaged into the fishing industry development with the tender. We have two startups that we have helped secure funding from the other funders like Develop PP. And we know that Rosho has been recognized, for instance, as the best export startup recently. Sabia is going to tell us more about that kind of accolade. And we continue providing technical assistance for them to have more of these success stories, because that is actually what FUNGUO is all about. It's about unlocking the potential of these startups so they can actually be able to keep on growing. And if we can secure resources, definitely we can have hundreds of these, because that's actually what the future of Tanzania is all about. So my final few words. One, we are still working on so many more initiatives that are going to bring about a vibrant ecosystem in Tanzania. So we are going to reach out to more partners. We are already talking to a lot of them to be able to join hands to build the Tanzania innovation ecosystem and also the startup economy. And I can always say, I think that's exactly what Christine said in other words, that the future of Tanzania depends on what we do with our young men and women. We can decide to do nothing, and we can easily predict what's going to happen after that if we do nothing, which is not an option. But we can, if we can invest in their potential and enable them to be able to chart their own destiny, then we can be sure that we are going to have the outcome later. So financing is needed, but it's not a silver bullet, as I said. We need to work on policy and regulatory environment. At least we have partners in government who are trying to do something. Probably need to push so the speed can be a bit better. And so that it can actually be friendlier to innovative business models, because right now what we have probably was meant for traditional businesses. And so that's what the likes of are actually doing. So we're going to be continue working with everybody. So asanteni sana. After this, I would like to call on stage some of our investors who can actually hear from them, not just me who is pitching about the program. So let me call Irene Rugembe from Safari Wallet. Karibu sana. She's going to tell us more about how they are bridging technology and tourism to be able to grow it. John Kinyaga, Aquacom, in fisheries. So let's see about the innovative technology which are being applied in fishing industry. Sabiha Rashid, Rosho. And if you haven't tasted their product, I would encourage you to do so. And Innocent James, Summer Bags. Karibu sana. Right. We only have a short time for you guys to be able to tell the audience about your businesses. They would definitely like to hear what you've been up so far and what does it mean for you to kind of be here. So maybe let me start with Innocent. Summer Bags, an interesting business model, inclusive, all the way from Mwanza. So you can take 2 minutes just to talk about Summer Bags and where you are at the moment, how you started, and I know it's a long story, but try to summarize it.
Okay. My name is Innocent from Mwanza, founder of Summer Bags. And since he said that I should summarize, so we are originally librarians. We started with supporting literacy programs, and then with our literacy programs we had a challenge with the children who are actually participating in our reading programs, and then we were forced to start creating a product called Summer Bag, which is a bag connected with a solar system that helps children to get access to light as they go to school, and in the evening they will use this bag as a source of light to read. And as you know, normally we are seamstresses, mafundi cherehani. We work with sewing machines. In Tanzania, it's very unlikely entrepreneur you could find, really, because there are no factories that are making clothing in Tanzania. It's not a very visible business. So, well, to our luck, we were struggling with our market because, you know, the demand is high for our products, as almost 70% of rural Tanzania do not have electricity. And with this struggle, we came across FUNGUO. So when we came across FUNGUO, first of all, I was, in my thinking, I was like, you know, these kind of projects, they will be really funding some high-tech companies, you know, like fintechs and all others. But I was encouraged to try anyway. And when I won this award, it was a victory for me and maybe for all other people that are also in my field, because First, it have helped us with doing some more complex works that we couldn't really be able to do before. For example, by the time I was, before I received the funding, our capacity of production was very small. The demand was up to 12,000 backpacks every month, but we could only produce 3,000. So with this fund, and not only the funding, I think it's also some kind of the recognition that we could get. It have attracted both the recognition from institutions that are now working with us, are making orders from us, but also we could be able to afford now machineries and all other things that have really helped us to reach. I can give an example. I was invited for a guest lecture at a university in Breda, and you know, I was doing my lecture for, it's a 1 week long lecture, few sessions. And in one of the sessions, I mentioned about the award I got from FUNGUO and people from, you know, all the logos up there. And I was really trying to explain that in Tanzania, a business like mine, the people who are doing the sewing mainly, we don't really recognize them much, you know. It's not a brand, it's like just some fundis in the streets. But with that, a professor just jumped out and said like, hey, I think I can introduce you to a company. And they introduced me to a company called Omnicol in Belgium. And right away we went, and now we are designing our first ever paperback. And this is a very revolutionary step for us, because there is so much paper to recycle in our country, and if we can use paper to make backpacks, then this is something that can take us to a further step. So I can see that apart from just the funding, it have attracted a very big attention from people that are needing our products, for people that are willing to collaborate and really working with us as well. So this is our victory, I will have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Innocent. You have taken more than 2 minutes, but that's fine. I know you can take an hour talk about summer bags. I think that explains on how we look at innovation, that sometimes people do mistake innovation for you know, only tech related, but this is something which is really great. Maybe people might want to hear more about this, because that kind of transition from being a moving library to now having a factory making bags that you're already even exporting, not just for the kids. So that's something which is like great, so that we would like to share more. Maybe I will get back to you. Maybe let me have Irene, now moving from manufacturing to fintech in tourism. Tell us about Safari Wallet. I mean, I know it's been a journey. Where are you at the moment?
Hi everyone, my name is Irene from Safari Wallet. We are a travel fintech marketplace. Our platform provides locals with an opportunity to experience their dream holidays, and also provides a pool to local guides and tour operators to the travelers in Tanzania, but not just Tanzania, but also cross-border. So I will start my story a bit back. When COVID-19 happened, a lot of businesses, travel businesses, were closed because people were no longer traveling, and because the travel industry in Tanzania was highly dependent on the international market. And people were not coming, so no business. And this is because it was highly dependent on the international market and totally forgot the domestic market. Prices were high. Even me as a Tanzanian, I can't really travel because it's very expensive. I can't find a package that fits me. So Safari Wallet is trying to solve that problem, trying to change the notion of travel, empowering travelers in Tanzania and even cross-border to travel by paying in installments or paying after travel as well. So through our platform, travelers can design their own experiences. They can book their experiences up to 12 months prior and start paying them in installments. And we work hand in hand with our partners to curate experiences that fit locals. And so far, things are going well because a lot of tour guides and tour operators before, their mindset was fixated on the international market, but now they see that there's an opportunity to leverage the local market. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Irene. And let me go to John, all the way from Morogoro, with innovation within the fishing industry. So take us through the technology we are applying to be able to revolutionize the fishing industry in Tanzania and the tender you won with the government. If you don't mind disclosing. We've already talked about it anyway.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joseph. My name is John Kinyage, an aquaculture engineer by profession, and I'm a CEO for Aquacom Limited. So we are solution providers in the fish farming and fisheries industry. And, you know, this is, I call it a specialized industry, like not many people or conventional financier will jump into the industry. We actually offer technologies for smart fish farming, and we guide investment through consultants. And our engagement with FUNGUO came through our expansion of a smart model fish farm that we are running in Morogoro at the moment. So by smart aqua farms, we improve productivity of fish farms by at least 10 or 20 times per unit area, but also we deploy technology that would enable water reuse, and that minimizes a lot of water requirement into fish farms. But we incorporate technologies with smart powering using solar technologies, and that will cut a lot of operation costs into fish farm, but by at least 40%. And the biggest reason to why we jumped into fish farming industry is the Tanzania has more than 50% gap of fish supply. So that needs an alternative means of producing fish and supplying fish into the country. And FUNGUO for us has been an eagle for Aquacom to fry. And just to say now, coming to the tender we won, for the past 4 months or 5 months post FUNGUO, we have jumped our revenue turnover by 6 times compared to what we had last year. So that's for us. We take FUNGUO opportunity with pride, and this has been an eye opener, but also now making the numbers. So the government entrusted them with one of the biggest tender we had never even dreamed of. So we are now implementing a roughly $1 million project in Mwanza that will be able to enable or empower more than 800 people to do fish farming in Lake Victoria. So that's for us is the biggest milestone. Even on the day I was shaking my hand on the day we were signing the contract with the government. So thank you so much to FUNGUO, and yeah, I think that's it.
Thanks a lot, John. Just for information, I didn't prep them to talk about FUNGUO, to praise FUNGUO. But anyway, thanks. Credit. Now, let me go. I was reserving the last slot for Rosho because, probably because personally I like their product. So if you can tell us about Rosho, not probably just the product, but the story behind the product. I think that's what's more interesting.
Sure, thank you, Joseph. So I'm Sabiha, and let me tell you about how I trapped Joseph into getting us this grant. So I remember attending an event just like this where, FUNGUO, the FUNGUO program was introduced last year, and, you also attended one of the workshops which I was attending, and I made sure you left with a big jar of Rosho that day, because I was like, I cannot let this man forget me.
That wasn't a bribe, though.
It wasn't a bribe. I was just setting it in his memory. So, yeah. So honestly, I have no business background. I studied politics at the University of Birmingham, and I had no intention of starting a business, but it all started on our honeymoon. So my co-founder is my husband, and Yeah, and we were in Zanzibar, and all we were discussing was how we wanted to spend every moment of the day that we could together for the rest of our lives. And it only made sense that we have to start a business together. So obviously, that would be something that he would spearhead, and I would just be in the sidelines, right? So I was really excited. I was like, let's do it. So at that point, the plan was to export raw produce from Tanzania abroad. And we worked on it for a few months, and just before our first shipment of avocados, so we were working with avocados and cashews at that point, the day our first shipment of avocados was in the cold room of the airport, ready to be shipped to Dubai, COVID hit and all the flights closed. So on that day, we had to bury our dreams, and we managed to sell a few hundred kilos of the avocados locally, but the rest of the few tons of avocados we literally had to bury under the ground. And then luckily cashews are not as perishable, so those were lying around. And I know this sounds really cliche, but I swear to God, this is exactly what happened. For that 1 month, I was watching a ton of Shark Tank videos, and in the middle of the night, I wake him up, and I'm like, I think I know what we can do with these cashews. And he was like, go to sleep. And I was like, no, I didn't go to sleep. And I began planning and thinking about what we could actually do. So when I was back in university, I went vegan for a year for health reasons. And I realized how amazing it was for my body. And I felt really privileged that I was in an area where I could access snacks that were really delicious, but that were so healthy as well, without any preservatives, good for you, that nourish you, but also, I don't want my food to be boring. So I thought of why nobody in Tanzania was making anything like that at that point. And so that's what I started experimenting in our home kitchen. And so obviously now it became like I'm spearheading the business. And he didn't want to be the guy who sells cashew butter, obviously. So he was like, okay, let's see. You can start, do what you want. So I was selling from home via Instagram. And after I blew up about 6 to 7 food processors because the demand was just crazy. Everybody loved the product. And he started seeing the sales. And he was like, okay, I think you're onto something. So then we joined forces, and we rented a tiny kitchen space in Kariakoo from where we started producing. And then after a little while, that was not enough, so we had to move again. And now we finally moved to the biggest location that we've been in so far, from which we are producing our cashew butter. And we recently launched our new product range, which is energy bars that are made with oats, cashews, honey. And our goal has really been, and this is something that is developed as the business has continued to grow and as we've been introduced to, the innovation ecosystem, that there is so many gaps that can be filled in Tanzania. We learned that only 10% of the raw cashews that are harvested in Tanzania are locally processed, which means I think in the past few years, every year we're losing over 64,000 jobs, most of which would have gone to women, and close to $100 million every single year in added revenue, just because nobody is adding value to such a versatile crop that is growing in our backyard. So I think for us, it's been so important to capitalize on this. And Joseph was talking about how many people don't have jobs in Tanzania, and we have come to experience that firsthand because we employ only women in our factories. And how we've done our recruiting so far has literally been start with our house help. She suggests, I have somebody I know who's sitting at home, doesn't have anything to do. Bring her tomorrow. Okay, start, have her on probation. And that's how we've continued to grow our team. And we are so proud that our team has grown a lot more exponentially since joining the FUNGUO program, because we've been able to think about growth and been able to actualize some of the some of the dreams and ideas that we had for future products. And we know that the more we are able to grow this company, grow this brand, we're going to be able to produce to provide so many more jobs for these women. We try to empower them in different ways. So we've had days where we go to Cocoa Beach and sit with them, eat mishkaki and mihogo, and just get to know them really. And a lot of them are around my age, and I realize that they're just like me. They have dreams and goals. It's really hard to crack and get into their shells and ask them to really open up about themselves. But when they do, you realize that this girl was just sitting at home. She had nothing to do, and now she has a purpose. She has somewhere to be. She has a means to provide for her family. And and she's empowered. And some of them have told us, I'm going to die with Rosho. And the kind of happiness that gives me, that they feel proud. We see them post on their Instagram pages, pictures of them with their Rosho overalls, and it just, that happiness that gives us is next level. So we're so grateful to the FUNGUO program, because we were only able to launch the oat bars because we were able to secure this funding, and that has created jobs for all of these women who were just sitting at home. So thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Sabia. Now, let's, because I know we have a very short time. Alexa, how much time do I have? 10 more minutes? All right, let's conclude. No problem. So, Jen, Innocent, because the whole point was basically to make a case for catalytic funding and what it actually can do for early stage business and startups, because there are, people with money in the audience, so they need to hear the kind of challenge the early stage business go through. So if we can be able to mobilize more resources, we can definitely help like another thousands of summer bags and create so many bags. So many jobs. At the moment, how many are you employing at the factory?
Yeah, so at the moment we have 60 people that are employed in our factory, out of which 35 are women and the rest are boys. But this is the direct. These are the people who have contracts and they're working at our factory. But still, we buy a lot of empty cement bags or these recycled materials, and the demand have been higher. So we have more people that have employed themselves and they're collecting this and selling it to our factory. So we have more people that are doing the supply, because our business is very, very tricky. There's very, very high demand, like of up to 27,000 orders around December, January, and February. And then all of a sudden, all the students have gone to school. Nobody wants a bags anymore. And then now we have to start pushing it ourselves. So we have created another network of young people who are actually selling the small sales carts. I think you have seen this in Mwanza, yeah. So these sales carts also are helping in the rural areas, and people are buying. Not only we are now making solar bags, we are also exporting backpacks and clothing as well, because there's a whole season of about like 3 to 4 months in a year where the demand for school bags is completely blank. And at this point now, with of course the new machinery that we have, we can we've now started making like a car seat covers, the Bajaj. I think you've seen the recycled Bajaj covers in Dar es Salaam. These are all made from us, and also some kind of special products that are specified by corporates or other companies. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I think that tells of like the power of what catalytic funding actually can do to a social enterprise like yours. Sabiha, talking about financing, had you been able to raise money before, apart from your savings and everything, like before FUNGUO came in? And probably, are you now talking to some investors at the moment?
So obviously, I think our brand gained a lot of traction because of our social media marketing, and we had quite a few people approach us in the very early days, being like, this brand, this product seems exciting, the space that you're working in is exciting, we would like to invest. But we realized that the conversations that we were having with these people, because we didn't have the traction to have an upper hand, we felt like we were being downplayed so much that it didn't seem fair. So we never got to a deal that seemed worth it for us, because we knew the potential that this brand and this product has. And so although we were getting these offers, they didn't seem attractive enough. And I remember when I was hearing you introduce the first FUNGUO cohort, something that really stood out for me was how you described that what you want to do is to give us that funding that can unlock the next level for us. And we realized that's the gap that we're missing because, we're stuck in like tight cash flow situations because we have a product that we sell to our customers who have credit periods and they take really long to pay us back. So we were in a situation where we were struggling to even meet the demand because how much ingredients can you order when you're struggling so much with cash? So I think when we received the funding, it just gave us that headspace to now be able to, firstly, be able to order ingredients in bulk, packaging in bulk, and then also now start to introduce all of these. We've been planning for the oat bars for a year before we were able to launch it, and the only reason we weren't able to launch it was because we were struggling with cash. And throughout this time, we were getting lots of investment offers, but all of them just didn't make the cut for us because we knew that our brand was worth so much more, but we didn't have the traction to show that. So what the funding has done for us has been incredible in now hopefully allowing us to have an upper hand because we're able to produce so much more. We just signed a contract with FlightLink for them to serve the bars on their in-flight as their in-flight snacks. We just yesterday confirmed with 2 safari companies to also be giving out these bars to their guests. So these types of opportunities are going to now help us to be able to show that traction that can unlock that next level for us. So it's for anyone that's here as a business that is considering, applying for this fund, do it for sure.
Thanks. Maybe just the final word so we can actually give space to Alexa is just saying that she's going to cut my neck. Anyway, John, conclusion, where do you see Aquacom now going for? Like, you looking for investors? Are you looking for, what kind of financing are you looking for? Now, like, just conclude this. Like 1 minute.
It's just so difficult. I think that's one of the most difficult questions I can answer right now because, like I said, the post-FUNGUO growth for us has been just immense. When your turnover grows 6 times or 5 times, they kind of caught you on the corner. You are totally unprepared. And the quickest fund type of financing I would go for would be equity financing. Of course, in terms of supply financing, that would be really helpful for me because, for example, the supply contract that we have now is it kind of reminded us to be maybe more connected to unconventional financing, because I think I remember going to the bank with the contract and then just telling this guy to supply the contract, and then they were like, okay, looking at your numbers from last year, you are just worth a quarter of the contract. What do we do with you? So I just don't know. That's where I think you mentioned about the technical support. Sometimes it's more important than the funds itself. I think that's are the areas sometimes that FUNGUO can also focus on. And just to mention one person, Boike. Yeah, this guy has been my biggest help if I go crazy. So, and he's one of the guys in the FUNGUO team. So he would drive from Dar es Salaam to meet me in Morogoro just for the weekend to try to get things going on the track. So apart from financing or the type of funding, I think the technical support is also more important to businesses than the fund itself, because once you have all the file, all the data log in your office online or like ready for take up, that's exactly what we need at the gateway for further growth. We look at Aquacom to be an international business company. That's where we are heading to after conclusion of this project. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, John. Irene, last word. Maybe you could get a few clients from here to travel with your offers. Karibu.
Well, we welcome you all to visit us or give us a call if you need an experience I would like to make you think that traveling is easy if you just plan in advance. If you pay by installments, it's very possible. And we would want to grow as Safari Wallet, not just in Tanzania, but also in Africa. I'm talking about cross-border tourism. Tanzanians going to South Africa, South Africans coming to Tanzania, Kenyans coming here, and that would be very interesting because Africa as a whole is a beautiful place and has a lot of places that have not been discovered. Even in Tanzania, there are places, if I see on Instagram, I'm surprised. Is this Tanzania? Because I haven't been given a very good chance to explore these places. So we want to grow to become a travel fintech marketplace in Africa and not just Tanzania. And we also welcome partners as well to partner with us and host the experiences in our platform. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And that will be it for me. And for any potential investors in the room, I can see Ezra with Sif. I think you have a few potential clients in here. So we can supply the contact if you want. And asanteni sana for listening.
Wow. That was good. Oh, that's not working. Okay. There we go. Okay, guys, that was super, was it not, to hear from our lovely investees and the difference that FUNGUO is making. We are now going to hear from Lilian Madeje. She's providing a word from the investees to talk with us a little bit about, on behalf of the investees. Tell us what do they think. And Lilian is one of the FUNGUO investees as well. She is the co-founder of Niajeri, which is an online platform. Take it away, Lilian.
I will take his words and say that's for the big people. But it's something to come after. I think you've heard it all from the investees. As introduced, I'm Lilian Madeje, founder of Niajeri platform. We're a tech-driven talent management platform, upskilling talent, but also providing an automation hiring tool for employers. I think of the 26 startups or enterprises that have had the pleasure of becoming the first cohort for the FUNGUO facility, it has been a range from aquaculture, agribusiness with Rochelle, technology, pharmaceuticals, renewable technologies, and the pool was as vast and diverse, and it came at the right moment for most of these companies. There's some companies that were well known, like Niajeri, but there's some companies that were not known in this ecosystem. And this fund exactly did that, helped us to catalyze and just move from the place that we were not moving to that next level, whether it was securing funding, being able to have access to or advocacy to different doors that were never opened before, partners, from the government to the private stakeholders. This funding, I think, on a personal, and this one I believe it goes with the other investees, came at a time when most companies were coming out of COVID. We're trying to secure different types of funding, and it is just what was needed in the ecosystem. So in a short snapshot, we would like to say thank you for bringing this in, and I would like to do a call for any other startup out there, businesses, enterprises who are looking for, as it has been spoken about, it is just not about the funding, but it is about the support system, it is about the technical know-how, it is about the advocacy that is happening behind the scenes. It is about some of the doors, you call up on someone, you're like, I'm applying for this particular tender, and I need a recommendation letter, and that recommendation letter comes in, because that's what helps us to go to that next level. So please, please, please do go ahead and apply for this funding. And we do believe that you've heard there's amazing stories that are continuing to come, and with all of the nice reports that we're writing, they do make us write reports, so get ready for that. Just to get ready, that's the reality behind the scenes. But it just gets to capture what exactly it's about, being able to actually, you know, comprehend this is the stage that I was at, and this is where we're at 6 months later, 9 months later. So I know it helps us as well as it helps to actually put to numbers the whole program. So from all of the investees, asanteni sana for this, and for everybody else who's looking, do apply for this. Asante.
Thank you, Lillian. We appreciate you and all the work that you do. All right. We now have Mr. Cedric Merle, who's going to give us a keynote address from the European Union. Cedric is the head of cooperation for the European Union delegation. Karibu, Cedric.
Asante. Good morning, everyone. Special good morning to Christine, Ivana, Rick, and I would like to acknowledge the presence also of Dr. Erasto Mliuka, I said it well this time, who is the acting CEO of an incubator called DTBI under COSTEC. Ladies and gentlemen, young and less young. Since I understood from Christine that... so it is good to see and witness how much a bit of catalytic funding can mean for an enterprise in pushing it to the next level. I really enjoyed the presentations of the 4 startups we just heard about. I remember meeting some of you at the Hellenic Garden a few months ago. This was the, let me say, the start of FUNGUO. I will take away from this discussion the fact that Soma Bags has scaled up, including in Europe. So well done. That Aquacom has developed technologies on a niche market. That Safari Wallet has leveraged and will continue to leverage regional and local markets. And that Rosho, let's not remember that they have bribed or tried at least. Let's try to remember something. I know, Joseph, you have resisted, but it's true that the cashew nut butter is delicious. So we will remember that you can combine private and professional life. Well done. For us as the European Union, it is important to support the growth and innovation of the private sector in the same way as we offer support to the government, to increase system and processes, to enhance service delivery to the people. And it might even become increasingly important because without you, with your innovative idea, your drive to create, your will to succeed, Tanzania cannot prosper. We have been keeping a close eye on those 26 initial investees from the first round, which we are yet to visit, at least a few of them, to see the success with our own eyes. But already from the 4 companies narrating their stories, it is impressive what has developed out of it. Congratulations again. I believe everyone sitting here today has the potential to do great things. Yes, including you, Rick. Yeah. You have the right mindset because you made it a priority to come here today. With the right support, funding and encouragement, I can see your dreams come true. The journey can be hard, difficult and tedious, but if you want to succeed, you must persevere, persist, and you must push forward. If you fall, get up, dust yourself off and march on. Do not give up, be resilient. Now a few words to the ladies of the audience. Supporting you in particular is a priority for us at the EU. You are so important to the societies we live in, to our well-being and our sanity. Research has proved over and over again that if we want countries and economies to develop, we have to support particularly women who very often are disadvantaged by persistent beliefs, norms and customs saying that women cannot do it. but we know differently. We know that you can do it, and we know that you can, and we know that you can excel in doing it. So please, take use of this opportunity to jumpstart your business, to move on one level up, and show to your peers and others that you can do it, and afterwards that you have done it. And before I give the floor to Rick, I just want to share with you other opportunities the EU is providing, because John was mentioning, John from Aquacom was mentioning the post-FUNGUO. So post-FUNGUO for us, and hopefully for you as well, means, Joseph was presenting before a bit these different steps towards more financing. We will be supporting we are supporting and will be supporting even more in the future dedicated credit lines and investment finance for women entrepreneurs through microfinance across the country, complemented by capacity building. Dedicated credit lines, so then the next step, I mean, starting from the catalytic funding to microfinance and then to access for MSMEs, funding through NMB, CRDB, KCB and other banks that will also promote development, private sector development in the coming months and years. At this point, I would also like to say a big thank you to UNDP, to UNCDF for running the program so smoothly and achieving great results so far. Now, all that is left for me to say is take this opportunity, make your dreams come true, and be proud of your accomplishment. Asanteni sana. Sorry.
Thank you, Cedric. That is really inspirational words, and absolutely so smooth. We're just cruising. And Rick, welcome. Rick is the Deputy High Commissioner at the British High Commission for Tanzania. And yeah, take it away, Rick.
Is this working? Yes, fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for welcoming me here. Thank you particularly to Christine, Cedric, Ivana, and Dr. Erasto, but also all of you for being here this morning. And Habari Zasabui. There we go. My attempt at Swahili, I feel I have to do it even if it's not particularly strong. So on behalf of the UK government, I'm delighted to be part of this launch of the FUNGUO Innovation Programme, second call for grant funding for Tanzanian impact-driven startups. You may be aware that the UK has been a long-standing supporter of innovation in Tanzania. And indeed, the FUNGUO programme builds from and carries on the legacy of a former UK-funded programme, the Human Development Innovation Fund, HIDIF, which supported and promoted innovations in particularly education, health, water and sanitation from 2013 to 2021. And this programme was instrumental in supporting the development of the innovation ecosystem in Tanzania by working with the government and other stakeholders to strengthen the regulatory environment for supporting the development of innovation and technology in Tanzania. Over that programme, we saw some really great examples of sustainable innovations that transformed the development of the regulatory environment and social services in Tanzania, such as Apopo, Nanofilter, Ubongo Kids, D-Tree, Afia Microfinance, and many more. Hopefully names that are all now familiar to all of us, and I really hope that our four panellists from before will soon be as well known in Tanzania as those that have come before. So it's really exciting for me to see that was started nearly 10 years ago continues to thrive and grow. Driven by UNDP, the EU and UNCDF, and now attracting a wide variety of supporters, including from the private sector, and promoting innovation far beyond those limits of education, health, water and sanitation that the former programme used to look at. And it's really welcome that it brings that direct focus on the private sector. Tanzania for many years has had a lot of investment in civil society, through government, and often the private sector can be the part of the puzzle that's left behind. So it's really good and really impressive to see ideas being generated from Tanzania, run with by Tanzanians, and starting to really succeed. So from me as well, huge congratulations. Innovation and technology will be a key part of the UK's ongoing commitment to Tanzania, whether we're funding a specific programme or whether it's integrated in our wider programmes and support. And the FUNGUO programme itself has already shown it can and is having a real-world impact on innovation, unleashing the potential of the next wave of Tanzanian innovators and establishing scalable startups capable of delivering real change and attracting commercial financing. And I think we all know that innovation and technology will be key to modernising Tanzania's economy, creating those jobs that Joseph set out so clearly at the beginning that are required as 1 million people enter the job market every year, and generating new and more diverse income streams in Tanzania in support of sustainable and inclusive development. And I was really struck, actually, through the presentations as well, that FUNGUO really isn't just about finding some funding to get businesses off the ground. That idea of business development, of supporting business environment is absolutely critical. You can have a great idea, but if the environment is not there to take it forward, it will die before it gets off the ground. So really important that FUNGUO is thinking across all of those. So ninafurahi sana to witness the launch of FUNGUO's second application window. The High Commission will be watching with interest as the next generation of creative minds propose new solutions and approaches to issues as diverse as agriculture and health, and from tourism to education. I'm confident there'll be a wide range of impact-driven applications with the potential to contribute to Tanzania's development. And with over 350 applications in the first round, it seems the biggest challenge now is for Joseph and team to work out how to support and how to choose the next round of proposals that come in. And really delighted that so many of them are tech-enabled as well. My colleague Jamie would make sure I said that somewhere in the speech, or he will have words with me afterwards. Importantly, I'm also delighted to hear that this round of funding will give special consideration to women-led and women-founded businesses by allocating at least 30% of the available budget to them. This is a welcome step in addressing the stark gender imbalance in tech and innovation, not just in Tanzania, but across the globe. As you all know, women are severely underrepresented in the tech industry, and women-led innovations and businesses can often find they struggle to access capital. And this lack of financing limits business opportunities to adopting new technologies and improving productivity and growth. So setting those targets for women-led and founded enterprise is just one small step in helping address that inequality and will lead to greater diversity of ideas and approaches. So to conclude, I'm sure the second round of applications will be a huge success. We will be watching closely. I wish all the team the best of luck in making those difficult decisions in which proposals to support. It's clear that succeeding in a FUNGUO application is a really good first step to commercial success. And these companies seizing those opportunities are having a real impact on the economy and development landscape of Tanzania. So well done to everybody that was successful in the first round. We look forward to the second round, and asanteni sana for having us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rick. We really appreciate the long collaboration with UK Aid on innovation and the ongoing support. Okay, we now are getting into the meat of the event, and I'm so pleased to welcome Mboike Mahenga, who not only provides support in Morogoro and so much counseling and technical support through his long experience to the businesses, but also helps oversee most of the work that goes into these application rounds. Mboike is at UNCDF as the portfolio and investment lead, and works full-time on the FUNGUO Innovation Program. He is going to be doing a deep dive for us into FUNGUO's second call for funding to tell you all about what we can expect to see, what's in that call, what are we looking for, how is it different from the previous call, what should you be looking out for. So everyone online, I think this is probably the critical bit that you're here for, so stay tuned, and we welcome Mboike. All right, tech at the back. Can we have the presentation?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Alexa. Thank you, everyone. So my job is very simple. I'll just take you into a bit of deep dive on what the second call entails. I'll try to be very brief, but also thorough. So what we have done in this second call for funding, we have taken the feedback, we've taken the lessons we've learned in the first call, where we awarded 26 grantees. Based on those feedback and lessons, we've incorporated in this second call and make an improvement to see that we create more impact. So the aim is the same. We shall continue to identify legally registered impact startups, but also scalable SMEs. Same conditions, they'll be majority owned by Tanzania. But key issue for this second round, we are being more intentional that we are creating a special quota for women, where we have capped at least 30% of the fund available towards women. So this is a much improvement from the first call, where we had at least 19% which qualified for definition of women-led, women-founded business. So that is a key takeaway for this second call. On the objective, we emphasize on the promotion support of women-led businesses, but also we look further in creating more funding opportunities by taking by de-risking these current businesses, but also to provide catalytic fund to impact SMEs. Moving forward on the grant details. So on this second call, what we have allocated is 1.4 billion. In this 1.4 billion, the range will be between 50 million and 100 million. So one will ask, why 50 and 100 compared to what we had the previous call was 50 to 200. So this is again is based on the experience and the feedback. In the first call, for the 26 grantees that we awarded the grant, more than 70% had applied and received funding of less than 100 million. So only 30% received above 100 million. So that what does that tell us? So basically that tells us the funding needs for companies that we are targeting through catalytic funding, they range between $22,000 to $42,000. That's between 50 to 100 million. So it was prudent to cap this award amount between those range, so that we are able to serve more of them. Now with the 1.4 billion allocated, this tells us we can do up to 28 applicants. This will be based on the amount they have requested, based on the compliance to our eligibility and evaluation criteria. Again, the call will be sector agnostic, will not be specific. We'll be looking at applicants that work around all the 17 SDGs, all sectors, as long as those sectors are not sanctioned by either the UN or the EU and other funding partners restrictions. With that said, when you look at the eligibility criteria, another major change is that in the first call, we are only allowing companies that have been incorporated in Tanzania, but also registered as limited liability companies. But this time around, we are giving room for those companies that are not fully incorporated, so they operate with business name. And why is this? Again, it's because in the first call, we received a number of applications for companies that were incorporated as business names that had good innovations, had good traction, and good businesses, except they do not qualify as incorporated companies as required by the call. So with this call, we'll give them the opportunity to showcase what they have on the presentation, the application. But before disbursement of funds, we will require them to fully formalize and incorporate as a limited liability company. That way we are able to deploy funds to that. So that room has been open so as to accommodate that. Again, we are looking for majority owned, more than 51%. We're looking for for-profit entities or market-oriented social enterprises. Another quality that we've added this year is that for companies that are already investment ready, they are ready for commercial funding, such as debt and equity, will not qualify for this catalytic fund in terms of grant. This was not clear in the previous call, as we ended up receiving applications from companies that are much higher level of growth compared to what we have announced. And this wasn't fair to, I could say to them, at least we could have been upfront and clear. So now we are clear and we've capped the amount. So on the evaluation criteria, in the previous call, we had 5 criteria that were the innovation, business viability, potential to scale, governance and management, and development impact. So in this second call, we have combined the criteria of business viability and potential to scale, because both criteria, they are used to measure the business growth. So we have combined them and we have added more weight in terms of allocation of marks in terms of innovation and business to scale. But also on the team and management, last time it was governance and management. Now the level of innovation or growth of the companies we're looking at, pretty much most of them, the governance structure were not yet set. And they are still polishing their management team. So now we are looking at the individual people. Do you have the right people that they understand the problem, that they know their market, they know how to get to the market? So it's more on the composition of the team and how the management structure is formed. Part of the governance is something which the program, through other thematic areas that we are running, we are able to impart more training, more capacity building on how they can improve the governance structure. Also on the development impact, in the previous call, most applicants just mentioned the areas that will have impact, like people will have impact on SDG 14, life underwater, be impact maybe on zero hunger. So in this call, we want applicants to tell us how are they impactful, and how can they measure that impact? What metrics will they use? Now, based on that, it's what we will form an agreement post-approval on how to measure and track that impact. So now they are more explicit on how they say what impact is and how they are going to measure it. So these are the changes on the evaluation criteria. Now, one of the biggest feedback we got in the first call was lack of timely feedback and visibility on the next steps. The first call was only saying 14th of June is opening of application, 31st of July is the closing of application. And we went AWOL for some time while we were doing our appraisals, our due diligence, our investment committees. Then we came back to the ecosystem announcing who was selected, who was not selected. So this time around, we have included a proper timeline chart. On 31st of May is when we open the application. 30th of June is when we close the application window. And we are also more open on what we'll be doing in between. So, for example, between now and 30th of June, we'll be doing info sessions. We'll be doing outreach activities. We'll have Q&A sessions. This year, we have also included the link for info sessions. We are planning to have an online info session weekly. And all the feedback we get on the Q&A, we will incorporate in the Q&A section of the application, so that the follow-on week, people will not be able to ask the same questions that has already been responded to. But also, another big improvement in this year, in the review and approval part, the due diligence process has been more rigorous. That apart from what the applicants will present in the application sheet, we will also go an extra mile, possibly to physically meet them during the due diligence, at least to have a face-to-face interview. We give them more room to defend the applications, because some might not be very good in writing, but the actual business is much good. So for us to be able to have that much more interaction and question a number of things, we are able to to award to the right applicants, to be more fair, and also give ourselves at least more validation on what we do. So after that, we'll have the post-approval process for the successful feedback. Successful ones will be given feedback. The unsuccessful one will be given feedback. So what will happen this year, at every stage that you qualify, if you qualify for the initial stage, you'll be notified. And if you have not, you'll be notified. So that way, you get your information much earlier. You understand? So there is visibility in every stage. So we are aspiring to disburse our grants on 1st of September this year from today. So that is 9 months. God willing, we should be able to do that. So what has changed in summary? So major change is on the amount. As previously we had 50 to 200. Now we're having 50 to 100 for the reasons that I mentioned, because of what we saw in the previous application, 70% getting around that range. In the previous call, we did not have a quota for women, but luckily we had 19% of the awarded investees that qualified for women-led, women-enabled business or women-founded business. So this time around, we are intentional on that. We are capping it of a minimum of 30%, though we'll strive to get more. However, more work has to be done to have targeted outreach to these women-founded businesses. We need to actually find them. And this goes all to you guys, the ecosystem. Tell us where to find them. All these change makers that are hiding in the other interior region of Tanzania, we need to get them to the forefront of this ecosystem and be able to award them. Again, we will move from not only incorporated business, but also business registered with the business name will be given opportunity to be eligible, but they will require to formalize once before disbursement is done. So they'll have they will have a runway on how to get that, and this is also in the spirit of advocating for formalization of businesses. Lastly, we have improved on clarity. The first call was also a learning for us. Based on the feedback, now we are more clear on the eligibility process. We are more clear on the due diligence process, but also we are more open on the timelines and next steps. So now people are aware what follows between one stage and another, and from one stage to another, you will be notified whether you have been successful or not. With that said, I'll say thank you very much. Let's gear up and get ready for this launch. Asante sana.
Thank you, Mboike. Guys, are you feeling so excited? I am pumped. I am so excited for this round. I think, if you're a woman, woohoo! Yeah, come on, make some noise. This is exciting. All of those women businesses who are awesome, who are sitting quietly, maybe you haven't registered your business yet. This is your moment to shine. Come on, I want every single one of you to think of a women-owned business, whether it's registered or not registered yet, that would be amazing for this kind of support. Just hold that in your mind, and when we're going to launch the application, just right now, you're going to go send that to her, okay? Promise me? I need like a promise, guys. Like, I want to hear some noise. Like, can I, will you promise me that? Yes. Okay, great. All right, we are next going to launch the application link, and this is the most exciting part. But before we do that, did you drive here? Wave at me. Okay. Is your license plate number T675 DPG? If it is, you have left your car running. It is out. It is out of fuel. It is out of battery. Do not. It's bad for the environment. T675 DPG. Please check your car is running and there's nobody inside it. It could also get stolen. Okay. So now I'm going to ask, can I have some ushers, 1 or 2 ushers are going to help me. And we're going to have coming up on our stage, Christine Musisi for UNDP, Ivana Damjanov for UNCDF, Cedric Merle for FCDO, for EU, sorry. You can switch, it's okay. No, Rick for the British High Commission, Cedric for the European Union, yes, again, and Dr. Esther Muluka for COSTEC. You're going to stand up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to have an amazing countdown. So guys, are you ready? Are you feeling excited? There's going to be more funding, more technical support, more women. It's really, guys, this is exciting. And so what we're going to do is we're going to all count down. Are you ready to count down with me? Yes. Okay, I only hear one person. Are you ready to count down with me? Yes. Guys, Please, like, give me some energy here. Okay. Are you ready to count down with me? No! Oh, no, wait. No, it's not starting yet. Tech, stop. It is not starting yet. Okay. Now, what you're going to do... Yes. So I know you have multiple millions of dollars budget, and also you are very clever people, but some people are defeated sometimes by the popper. So what you want to do is, if you let me... So you see the popper has a red end. Yes, and there it says, rotate this way. Yes, there's an arrow. So I want you just to practice. So you're going to you're going to hold that away from you so it doesn't blow up in your face. So you're gonna hold the red bit towards you. Yes. Okay. Let me. So you're going to take your right hand. Show me your right hand. Yes. And you're going to put it on the bottom there. And you're going to show me your left hand. And you're going to put it there. And you're going to rotate it like this when we hit 1. Okay. When we launch. Oh, you guys, can you practice with me? Just show me that you go pop. Just practice. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Cedric, are you ready? Don't be defeated. Don't be defeated by the popper. Don't do that. Please do not point it in anybody's face. Okay. All right. All right. Are we ready to launch this thing? Yes! Come on! Okay, we're going to count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, well done, guys.
Is it just Cedric? This one doesn't twist.
Oh, no.
You guys don't worry, just lean on the European Union.
Do we have any more? Well done, guys. Yes, you did. You were not defeated by the poppers. Thank you for officially launching. You know, you only have the joy of the popper. Super. You may sit down again. Thank you. You did your job excellently with the poppers. Well done. Ooh. Oh my God. Okay. Well done, everybody. Give a hand of applause for our official launch. Thank you so much, guys. Well done. All right. And now, guys, the second call is officially open. So if you have this QR code on your table, you can scan the QR code and the link is there. So remember, you said to me you promised that you had a woman in mind who you're going to send this to. So I want you to go to your link now on this QR code and you're going to send it now to that woman that you had in mind for that business, okay? And then you're going to go to the FUNGUO social media page where the link is, and you're going to tweet that, you're going to share it on Instagram, you're going to share it on LinkedIn, you're going to share it on Facebook, you're going to screenshot it, you're going to WhatsApp it to your friend, you're going to call people, and you're going to help us promote this fantastic call. Yeah? Okay. Oh, that was... All right. Well done, guys. Let's all give ourselves a hand of applause for the good work we're doing on social media. Yeah? Great. And with that, we are almost finished. To close us out, we have Dr. Mluka to come and speak to us. Dr. Erasto Mluka is the acting director of the Dar Technohama Business Incubator, which is at Costech. It's Costech's solution and amazing incubator that helps also produce many fantastic innovators and entrepreneurs. And we are so grateful to have Dr. Erasto here to close us out today. Thank you. Karibu.
Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. I recognize the presence of Cedric Mel, Head of Cooperation, European Union, Mr. Rick Shen, Deputy High Commissioner, British High Commission, Ms. Christine Msisi, the Resident Representative, UNDP Tanzania, Ms. Ivan, Country Lead and the Inclusive Digital Economy UNCDF, and all the participants. We are very delighted as the government of United Republic of Tanzania, through the ministry responsible for science and technology, that's, you are aware, is Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, through which the Tanzania Commission of Science and Technology, it operates as innovative agency. So on behalf of the Director General for the Tanzania Commission of Science and Technology, Dr. Amos Nungu, I just want to give appreciation to the great support from FUNGUO program. For we can testify that the government has been investing a lot to our youth to come up with innovative solution. But the challenge it has been for youth to take it to the market. So now we are so happy that FUNGUO program, it has demonstrated that the effort of government can yield the impact. So for we know that Tanzania Commission of Science and Technology, it supports the grassroots innovators. So no one will want to support grassroots innovators because they just come with a very crude idea. So we take them through the Boon innovation space for ideation and to perfect the concept. And that also it has helped even other players. I echo to the EU Commissioner, as he mentioned, they are working with the government and the private sector. So there are many now innovation intermediaries who are working with youth to prepare them so that they can qualify for this kind of catalytic funding of which FUNGUO is offering. And to do that, we have the National Advancement of Science and Technology Funds, NFAST. This fund, as it testifies, it supports the youth to come up with pre-commercialization products, the minimum viable product. By having those minimum viable products, it's easier now for anyone who wants to support them to be able to support. As I can tell, even FUNGUO program is enjoying that base of innovation. Most of them, they have been supported, have gone through that kind of support to be ready to be visible for catalytic funding. As they mentioned, we need to support them not only on funding, also on the technical part. So we normally provide some kind of competition for the grant program. As you mentioned, like now you are supporting about 30% women-led innovative solution. Last year, FUNGUO supported about 5 female to go through the mentorship through Boon and the DTBI. So I believe these 5, they are going to qualify for this kind of call because they were able to be given each 10 million, so about 50 million. So through that, they were able to formalize, they are going through mentorship to formalize their business to qualify for this kind of funding. And also, we highly appreciate that the ecosystem now, it is working very well. For I have heard FUNGUO is partnering with Stanbic Bank. We want bank to be in the ecosystem. I think you have heard also CRDB is coming in to support the granting to these innovators through Embed program. Also, other banks also, they are working hard to make sure that our ecosystem is vibrant. So we believe that COSTECH initiative will continue to contribute to the local solution in a sense that to spur the economic growth and also bring that culture of innovation in our country. As you can see in the call, the first criteria, they want innovation. So whoever SMC, the startup they are coming, they must have innovation in it. So we believe that the FUNGUO program will continue to support the Boon Hub and the DTBI innovation ecosystem as it did last time. And we call upon even other investors to come and support the base of innovation so that we can get more who are qualifying for investment ready. And we highly appreciate that FUNGUO programs that are led by UNDP Tanzania and the UNCDF, they have launched this second call. And from the launch, we find like they are going to support about 28 startups. So these mean a lot to the government of United Republic of Tanzania because these are real business. They are going to bring revenue. They are going to bring employment in our community. And they are going to give also impact. As we have seen others already, they are going to Europe. So we believe that this is going to give a very good gesture to the global innovation ecosystem. And we understand there is diversity in the support from FUNGUO, for it covers strategic sector, like as we have seen, agriculture, education, and these sectors, they have the potential to reshape the industry and the lives of people in Tanzania. So with these few remarks, I highly appreciate for everyone else who is in this room and those who are following online, that as a government, we are putting the right environment for whoever want to play in the ecosystem to come in. And this gesture, which has been shown by the FUNGUO program, it is a call to the private sector. As a government, we just support the pre-commercialization. So we want private sector to come in and support commercialization of innovation, which already has been supported by government. Government has been supporting this grassroots innovator through MaxApt for several years, and we have the solution which are ready to go to the market. So they just need this kind of support like FUNGUO is doing. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I wish all the best those who are going to apply for this second call, and I believe they are going to have a success in their ecosystem. Thank you so much.
The Tanzanian tourism sector has been highly dependent on the international market for ages. Ever since I was young, I was seeing a lot of tourists coming to Tanzania, and mostly they were coming here to go to Serengeti, to go to Zanzibar, and this has been the trend for years and years. But when COVID-19 hit, the Tanzanian market was highly shaken. All those international clients that were coming for tour in Tanzania were no longer coming because of COVID. This led to companies, tourism companies, closing down their businesses because how could they run when there were no people coming anymore? They diverged to agriculture, and some went to start their own small businesses just to have something to bring to their table at night.
The Safari Wallet was built around people needs. So we look into the reason why locals are not traveling. And when we speak about local, for us, it's more of intra-Africa tourism. We're looking for Africans to travel because I think the opportunity is really big. We offer a freedom of travel to locals. In another way, I can say we are trying our best level to change the notion of travel for locals by allowing them to access a number of experiences on our platform that are being listed by the domestic service providers in a way that a local can buy anything that they wish to buy or design their own experience or design their own trip from the scratch. And the best that the platform does is that to give a freedom in where one person can acquire that particular dream experience by paying slowly by installment, which is a lay-by model, or with other financial elements whereby you can actually travel and pay later. So imagine if someone can actually save just 10,000 40 times and they can acquire an experience that they wish. Instead of paying everything at once, how about helping someone to build a culture with financial elements being embedded to make it easy for them?
Before the funding, we were not getting a lot of clients, and this was because we're not making a lot of noise in terms of marketing. In a month, we would make 8 to 10 trips, and in these 8 to 10 trips, it would include maybe single or group or bigger groups of people who are traveling, which would amount to about 200 clients per month. But after the funding and using the funding to do marketing, more and more marketing, I can gladly say that now we're serving more than 300 clients in a month. And this keeps on growing because we're still marketing. I believe in the next couple of months, we'll get even thousands and thousands of clients.
The dream is to become a Pan-African travel fintech marketplace, whereby when somebody thinks about or a thought passes their mind about travel, it should be Safari Wallet.